Karoline Leavitt, at just 27 years old, has recently been appointed as the White House press secretary under President Donald Trump's administration, making her the youngest individual to ever hold this esteemed position. A native of Atkinson, New Hampshire, Karoline's rapid ascent in the political arena is a testament to her unwavering dedication and exceptional communication skills. She began her career interning at Fox News during her college years at Saint Anselm College, where she earned a degree in politics and communications in 2019. Her commitment and prowess led her to serve as an assistant press secretary during President Trump's first term, followed by a role as communications director for Representative Elise Stefanik. In 2022, she ventured into electoral politics, running for Congress in New Hampshire's 1st District, though she was not elected. Undeterred, Karoline returned to the national stage as the national press secretary for Trump's 2024 campaign, culminating in her current role as the chief spokesperson for the White House. In her inaugural press briefing on January 28, 2025, Karoline set a decisive tone, announcing a significant shift in pressroom policies. She declared that independent journalists and influencers would now have the opportunity to apply for White House press credentials, a move she described as a step towards greater transparency and inclusivity. However, this decision was met with mixed reactions. Traditional media outlets expressed concerns over the potential dilution of journalistic standards, while alternative media platforms welcomed the opportunity for broader representation. As Karoline settled into her role, she was soon confronted with a challenging situation. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar had recently made statements criticizing the administration's foreign policy decisions, particularly regarding the Middle East. Omar's remarks suggested that the administration's actions could escalate tensions in the region, potentially leading to unintended consequences. These comments quickly gained traction in the media, sparking debates and discussions across various platforms. Recognizing the potential impact of Omar's statements on public perception, Karoline convened her communications team to formulate a strategic response. She emphasized the importance of addressing the issue head-on, aiming to clarify the administration's stance while countering the narrative presented by Omar. During the subsequent press briefing, Karoline addressed the matter directly. "Recent comments have surfaced regarding our foreign policy approach," she began, her tone measured yet firm. "While we respect diverse viewpoints, it's crucial to base discussions on accurate information. Our administration remains committed to promoting stability and peace in the Middle East, and any assertions to the contrary are not only misleading but also undermine our efforts." As she spoke, reporters in the room exchanged glances, sensing the underlying tension. One journalist raised a hand, inquiring about the specifics of Omar's claims and how the administration planned to address the concerns raised. Karoline responded, "We are actively engaging with our allies in the region, ensuring that our strategies align with our overarching goal of peace. It's imperative to approach such sensitive topics with a comprehensive understanding, rather than resorting to rhetoric that can sow discord." The briefing continued, with Karoline fielding questions and reiterating the administration's commitment to its foreign policy objectives. However, beneath the surface, there was an air of anticipation. The media was abuzz with speculation about potential further exchanges between Karoline and Congresswoman Omar, especially given the sharpness of their contrasting viewpoints. Later that evening, as Karoline reviewed the day's events, she received an alert on her phone. A prominent news outlet had published an op-ed by Ilhan Omar, doubling down on her earlier statements and challenging the administration's narrative. The piece was provocative, questioning the efficacy and morality of the administration's foreign policy decisions. Karoline knew that this development would require a calculated response. She couldn't afford to let the narrative spiral out of control, Yet she also needed to avoid escalating the situation into a personal feud. With a deep breath, she began drafting a statement, aware that the coming days would be pivotal in shaping public perception of the administration's policies and her role as its chief communicator. As the night deepened, the White House remained illuminated, a beacon of the challenges and responsibilities that lay ahead. Karoline's journey as press secretary had only just begun, and already she was navigating the intricate dance of politics, media, and public opinion. In the days following Karoline Leavitt's initial press briefing addressing Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's criticisms, the political climate grew increasingly charged. Omar's op-ed had ignited a firestorm of debate, with media outlets dissecting every word and pundits from both sides weighing in. The administration recognized the necessity of a strategic and measured response to maintain control over the narrative. On February 5, 2025, Karoline convened another press briefing to directly address the escalating situation. The atmosphere in the press room was tense, with journalists eager for updates. Karoline began, "Good afternoon. Recent statements have raised concerns about our administration's policies and intentions. It's imperative to clarify our position and address any misconceptions." She continued, "While we respect the right to free speech, it's crucial that public discourse is grounded in facts. Misrepresentations not only mislead the public, but also undermine our collective efforts toward national security and unity." A reporter interjected, "Press Secretary Leavitt, Congresswoman Omar has expressed fears that current policies might incite violence. How does the administration respond to these allegations?" Karoline maintained her composure, replying, "The safety and well-being of all citizens are paramount. Our policies are designed to protect and serve the interests of the American people. Assertions suggesting otherwise are not only unfounded, but also detract from the real issues at hand." Another journalist pressed, "Omar mentioned the potential for civil unrest in her recent comments. Is the administration taking these warnings seriously?" "We are always vigilant regarding the nation's security," Karoline responded. "However, it's essential to differentiate between genuine concerns and rhetoric that may inadvertently fuel discord. We urge all public figures to exercise responsibility in their statements." As the briefing progressed, Karoline emphasized the administration's commitment to transparency and open dialogue. She announced plans to engage with community leaders and representatives to foster understanding and address any grievances. Behind the scenes, the communications team worked diligently to monitor public sentiment and media coverage. They noted a growing polarization, with supporters rallying behind the administration's stance and critics amplifying Omar's concerns. Recognizing the potential for further escalation, Karoline proposed a direct meeting with Congresswoman Omar. She believed that face-to-face dialogue could bridge the widening gap and demonstrate a united front in addressing national issues. Arrangements were made, and the meeting was scheduled for later that week. Both parties agreed to keep the discussion private, aiming to foster a candid exchange without external pressures. As the day of the meeting approached, speculation ran rampant. Media outlets hypothesized about the potential outcomes, while political analysts debated the implications of such a high-profile dialogue. Karoline prepared meticulously, reviewing Omar's statements and concerns to ensure a comprehensive understanding. She was determined to approach the conversation with an open mind, aiming to find common ground while steadfastly representing the administration's policies. The evening before the meeting, Karoline reflected on the rapid developments. She understood the significance of the forthcoming discussion, not just for the administration but for the nation's political discourse. As she reviewed her notes one last time, a sense of resolve washed over her. Karoline was ready to engage in meaningful dialogue, hopeful that this encounter could pave the way for greater understanding and collaboration in the future. The day of the anticipated meeting between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar arrived, capturing the attention of media outlets and political analysts nationwide. The encounter was poised to address the escalating tensions stemming from their public disagreements over the administration's policies. The meeting took place in a private conference room within the Capitol building, away from the prying eyes of the press. Both women entered with their respective aides, the atmosphere charged with a mix of anticipation and caution. Karoline began, her tone measured. "Congresswoman Omar, I appreciate you taking the time to meet. Our recent exchanges have highlighted significant differences in our perspectives, and I believe it's essential we address them directly." Ilhan nodded, responding, "I agree, Ms. Leavitt. Open dialogue is crucial, especially when our nation looks to us for leadership and clarity." The conversation commenced with both parties outlining their positions. Karoline emphasized the administration's commitment to national security and the measures implemented to protect American citizens. She expressed concerns that some of Ilhan's public statements might inadvertently undermine these efforts and sow discord. Ilhan, in turn, articulated her apprehensions about certain policies she believed could marginalize specific communities. She stressed the importance of safeguarding civil liberties and ensuring that security measures do not infringe upon individual rights. As the discussion progressed, both women found areas of mutual concern. They acknowledged the delicate balance between ensuring national security and upholding the values of freedom and inclusivity that define the nation. Karoline proposed, "Perhaps we can collaborate on initiatives that address both our concerns. By working together, we can develop policies that protect our citizens without compromising their rights." Ilhan considered this, replying, "I'm open to collaboration. If we can find common ground and present a united front, it would serve the nation well." The meeting concluded on a hopeful note, with both parties agreeing to establish a joint task force aimed at reviewing and recommending policy adjustments. This initiative sought to bridge the gap between security measures and civil liberties, ensuring that both objectives were met harmoniously. Following the meeting, a joint press release was issued, stating, "Today, Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar engaged in a constructive dialogue addressing recent concerns. Both parties are committed to collaborating on policies that uphold national security while preserving the fundamental rights of all citizens." The media's response was mixed. Some outlets praised the bipartisan effort, viewing it as a positive step toward unity and effective governance. Others remained skeptical, questioning the feasibility of such collaborations given the polarized political climate. In the days that followed, the newly formed task force began its work, conducting comprehensive reviews of existing policies and engaging with various stakeholders, including community leaders, security experts, and civil rights advocates. Their objective was to formulate recommendations that would be presented to both the administration and Congress. While challenges were inevitable, the initiative signified a commitment to dialogue and cooperation. It underscored the belief that even amidst profound differences, common ground could be found through earnest communication and a shared dedication to the nation's well-being. For Karoline Leavitt, this experience reinforced the importance of open dialogue and the willingness to engage with opposing viewpoints. It was a testament to the potential of collaborative efforts in navigating the complexities of governance and policymaking. As she reflected on the events, Karoline remained resolute in her mission to serve the American people, recognizing that true leadership often requires both strength and humility.